Pox scurried along the alley, his burlap sack bouncing against his back as he darted between barrels and crates. Big folk never saw him, and that's just how he liked it. He paused at the edge of the market, his eyes scanning the heavy crowd. All he needed was one good shiny, and he'd have enough to trade for the swirly green bottle at the junk shop. He wasn't sure what was inside, but Pox knew magic when he saw it, and goblins were good with magic. His lips curled into a toothy grin. "Pox will wizard," he whispered to himself, slipping into the crowd. "Just need that swirly into glass." Elsewhere, Varric had lived alone in the woods for nearly 20 years. His only company the birds and the trees and the occasional wandering deer. People were always too much for him, even as a child. But today, something felt different, somehow wrong. He had heard it first, just before dawn. A low hum, like a deep droning, played on a forgotten instrument. The air felt heavy and thick, charged, even now, as it raised the hair on his arms. As he stood at the edge of his clearing, eyes scanning, he saw it. A jagged crack in the air, shimmering with faint blue light. It was small, barely the size of his hand, but it pulsed with something old, something powerful. "This isn't natural," he muttered, his hand instinctively tightening around the walking stick at his side. The flickering firelight did little more than warm the cold knot in his stomach. At 17, he was barely more than a boy, yet the weight of his father's ambitions felt like a mountain on his shoulders. The sealed writ and charter for CROSSHAVEN sat heavy in his hands. His task was clear: build a trade-friendly town for all nations, just as his father believed that prosperity should lift all. Outside, the hired guards, mercenaries really, prepared for the journey. They weren't friends, nor could he trust them yet, but they were all that stood between him and the dangers of the wilds. He swallowed hard, nodding as the advisor's eyes lingered. There was no turning back now. With the supplies packed and the wagons loaded, they set out on the road to CROSSHAVEN, the first step into the unknown. Now let's quick go around, introduce yourself to the audience, and just who you were playing. Not too much, not too many details, but just a little bit. Who wants to go first? Chris.
All right. Hi. My name is Chris. I go by Scald's Tale all over the interwebs. That has a whole bunch of stuff going on, but I am playing Mouse, a little 3'6" kobold. Kind of a little different than your traditional kobold exterior. He seems to be a little more slender. He has these weird golden scales, and he has these weird whiskers that come out of his face, almost closer to like a serpent than an actual kind of like this more I don't know, squarish figure that I think of when I think of kobolds. He stands there, and he has kind of like this fluid motion going on as he moves forward. But perhaps the most notable things about him is that on his left ear, he has this earring, and on his right arm, he has this weird chain that seems to be wrapped up around it. He's just kind of like on the exterior of everything that's going on right now, trying to figure out who is who, what is what, and really just trying to get a feel for the moment.
All right, let's go to Rosie.
Hi, my name is Rosalie. Please feel free to call me Rosie or any other nickname, shortened version thereof. I love nicknames, whatever works, as long as it's a nice one. I am playing Adrienne, a human woman. She's probably in her 30s, somewhere thereabout. Curly, dark blonde hair, pulled half up. She has a short little knitting needle stabbed through the bun at the top of her head. You can see hanging off of her belt, there's a wooden drop spindle, some bobbins of yarn and thread, 3 different pairs of scissors just sheathed in there alongside a utility dagger. Adrienne is a human witch, and she is actually at Mouse's side. They seem to have traveled here together, although they do make what looks to be a rather unlikely looking pair. Notably, also, as we're about to embark on the road here, you see a large linen-colored moth just clinging to the side of her arm, probably about the size of a raven. And yeah, that's Adrienne.
Let's go here.
Hi. Hopefully you can hear me. I was having a little bit of a audio issue of my own. But hello, I am your favorite burb on the interweb, a Black Sparrow. I do lots of things on the internet, but today I'm playing Tatum. They are a human monk. I'd say they stand somewhere in like the 5'6", 5'7" range. Very baggy, kind of like seafoam and white colored top with a pendant that is kind of affixed into it that looks like a crashing wave. And they are like kind of just leaning up against a wall. They seem to be kind of just like people watching. They are, to contrast the baggy top a little bit, they have like these very, very tight leggings on, very thick thighs that show that they are very powerful legs. Just kind of people watching with like a smirk on their face. Their hair sits about maybe shoulder length normally, but it's kind of like back in a bun. Various like little shells and stuff kind of like adorn the sides of their head, and they're just chilling.
That leaves...
Hi, I'm FaZe, or FaZe Knight, on most places on the internet. I'm a cosplayer and also a TTRPG person, as I'm here now. Anyway, so Mikaila is a fetchling, so kind of got that changeling look and vibe about her. She's not a changeling, but you know what I mean. She's dressed in like a gunmetal-y kind of armor set, metal armor kind of thing going on. She's got light gray skin, and then her hair is like a dark gray that goes down to like a bright orange, almost like metal as it's rusting kind of situation. And then she's got bright orange eyes, and she's kind of just standing there kind of off to the corner quiet, and she's fidgeting like in her hands. She's got like little shards of metal that she's almost like juggling in between her fingers. Like very obviously there's some sort of magic in place, but she's just kind of, it's like her own fidget spinner. She's kind of doing it on the side. So yeah.
All right. So you've been traveling the windy forest road for days. The mist clings to your clothes, thick and damp, while the trees press close on either side, their gnarled branches reaching out like skeletal hands. Laris, eager but anxious, walks ahead of you, occasionally glancing back as if searching for reassurance. Behind you, the donkey-pulled wagon creaks under the weight of supplies driven by Albert, a trusted advisor of his father's, and now Laris's, who watches the road ahead with a careful, knowing eye. When Laris speaks, "We should be close by now. I can't imagine we have much further to go." Albert responds, "Not quite, sir. Still a bit of road to go." Everyone give me a perception check. The first roll here. Let's see what happens. I believe in us.
Out of the
But I also
tray.
believe that my stream tech
Start.
worked, so...
Perception.
I got a 15.
I said 19.
19, a 15. What else we got?
17.
17.
21.
21. Okay, that's a pretty good. Those are pretty good rolls. Just ahead, something feels off. You hear the snap of a twig, too deliberate to be natural, and the distant rustle of movement through the underbrush. Someone's out there watching. What are you doing?
Tatum's eyebrow raises, but they don't seem to make a move towards what's coming. There, if you have ever seen like Master Roshi's, the way like his arms are always behind his back. That's pretty much what Tatum's at. Like their arms are like just folded behind their back, but they're not like they're looking in the direction of where the twig is, but they're not like running towards it or anything. They're just kind of keeping an eye on that side.
So a calm, cool, collected kind of vibe.
Yeah, very much. Does not seem worried about it, but is aware of it.
Well, you all made the roll. Some of you just barely. But is there anything specifically that either of you want to do?
Creep forward, just taking it step by step, trying to see what's going on there. I'm not approaching stealthily, I'm just approaching slowly.
I think Mikaila is still fidgeting with her hands, but like slowly the metal shards are almost like becoming gauntlet-like. So half of them are like kind of covering her hands, but the other half are still like in her hands, just like as a prep thing.
Okay. And what about... Sorry, I'm still learning character names.
Adrienne. Yes. I think following Mouse's lead, most likely, they've traveled together for a little while here. These other two are a little newer and also a little less chatty. Best to approach without the assumption that they're here to attack, but be at the ready in case they do.
Okay. Get out of there. So everyone is ready. Mouse, you went a little forward, I believe. So give me a survival, or I mean, I guess it's nature, or another perception check.
Yeah, 24 perception this time around.
Okay. You see it before it happens, almost, but stepping out from almost all sides of the I use the term path. It's not really a path, but the road. The stillness itself of the wilds is shattered without warning, except Mouse had a little bit of warning. Arrows whistle through the mist, embedding themselves in the ground around you. Mouse, one narrowly misses your head as it flies past you. From the trees on either side of the road, shadowy figures emerge, roughly clad bandits, their face partially obscured by hoods and masks, their weapons drawn. At the front of the wagon, the heir's advisor, Albert, lets out a strangled gasp as an arrow pierces his chest. He slumps forward, blood spilling down as the reins slip from his hands. The donkey whinnies in panic as the wagon lurches to a stop. A tall, wiry man with a jagged scar running down his face steps forward. Hand over the boy, and we'll let you walk away. As the advisor clutches his chest, he falls from the wagon, collapsing to the ground with a heavy thud. His last words are a desperate whisper. Protect the boy. So you guys have the choice here. Do we go to initiative, or do you hand over the boy?
Hey, what are we paid to do? Just to reiterate.
I think it was explicitly to protect the boy.
Yeah. You are now with Albert perhaps dead, seemingly. You are now the de facto guards and advisors of CROSSHAVEN.
Well, how close is Albert to us in relative to these bandits?
I would say you specifically are closer, or are fairly close, as you didn't really move. other than your attention. The bandits are 30-ish feet.
Okay. So I could make it to Albert to try and see if I could administer some assistance here. No?
They have at least in game terms, they have at least an action to get up to the wagon.
Yeah, I wanna see if there's anything I can do for Albert.
Okay,
Immediately, just moving over to him.
Give me one of them there medicine checks.
You betcha I will do this. Unfortunately, there's not much I can do. It's a 5. 1 + 4 is 5.
Yeah, there's an awful lot of blood. While you're experienced, you're not super experienced, but you know a lot of chest and belly wounds tend to be fatal with this much blood. You could maybe make him comfortable if you had a poison or a numbing agent of something, but there's not much that you can do.
All right, noted. I'm Tatum. A look of like disappointment and then annoyance crosses Tatum's face as they stand back up. They have not removed the only time that they've like moved their arms was to like maybe pat around the wound to see if there's anything that they could do. But like as they stand back up, their arms are behind their back, and they just kind of have a little bit of a sneer. But you kind of see them catch themselves, and it washes away, and they stand up looking at these bandits again.
Anyone else gonna take an action here?
Yeah. Jared, I'm going to see Tatum look at the body, and as they sneer, I would like to rage.
All right.
Oh.
As this happens,
What's your rage look like when you...
As this happens, I turn towards the bandits, mimicking that sneer that Tatum showed just for the briefest of moments, and that chain begins to curl from his right arm as it leads into a handle, and he begins to swing it, and you can see him like beginning to work himself up. He takes these deep breaths as his chest begins to rise, and there is this kind of like draconic arrogance begins to furrow at his brow as this chain or spiked chain begins to circle around him.
All right. Anyone else? We've got a raging kobold. We've got a pensive monk, maybe? Thoughts from the others?
Go ahead, FaZe.
I think
we both opened our mouths at the same time.
I think Mikaila is just gonna have her. She's got like her gauntlet out, but really most of it just looks like she's got like fake nails on. She's gonna like point at the guy and just be like, "He's dead," and then just like put her hand back and just stand there. She's got nothing else to say. She's just like pointing at the obvious.
Just dead.
Uh-oh.
Well, if we don't do something about it, the lad might be as well. I am going to
damn true.
Just pull out a piece of string here and tie a knot in it. I am using my hex cantrip Nudge Fate. I am going to give it to Mouse because I already have a piece of ribbon tied onto Mouse's weapon around the handle there. It's probably going to fall off at some point here. It's not very sturdy on there, but you can see it kind of moving more with the chain. It also almost as she ties this knot, and the thread twines itself more in with the chain, giving a little bit of a magical boost. Just a tiny bit, just perhaps a nudge.
Okay. Well, at this point, I'm going to ask everyone to roll me initiative. Now, if you're new to Pathfinder 2e, which I believe the majority of you are, Pathfinder or initiative in Pathfinder depends on what you're actively doing at the time. So, for example, when Chris said that he was approaching cautiously but not stealthing, had he been stealthing, he would have the option to roll stealth as initiative. If you're not doing anything specific, it defaults as your perception. So for everyone, I believe, we're gonna be a perception check here.
So natural 20. So 25.
I argue an intimidation.
Yeah, you could argue an intimidation.
It's an 18
Well, I did
from
quite
Tatum.
poorly. I got a 9 perception.
All right.
We got so many sounds going.
Yeah, and I don't know where the other one's coming from. Oh, yes, I do. Haha, I do.
Now we have
Quiet before the
silence.
storm.
Yeah. Now we should just have one song. But
Yes.
that is there. And I don't know why. I don't want it there. What was your initiative, Chris?
21.
21. All right. And I will learn these characters eventually, I promise. By the luck of the draw, I am actually last because I rolled a 2 on the die, and I have a very bad initiative modifier for these gentlemen. Most of them look identical, as if 4 of them are a carbon copy of each other, as if plucked right out of the handbook of some monster manual or some such. But the other one the one who spoke looks a little tougher, a little more there and present. So FaZe, what is Mikaila? Is Mikaila, right?
Is Mikaila.
Yeah, what is Mikaila doing?
So, okay, so good. I'm glad I get to start. I know a lot about this game. Awesome. Very cool and fun. Okay, so I think I'm gonna look at probably the closest person to me, and I think that was probably the guy. Was it the guy talking?
Yeah, sure. I mean,
Okay,
I'm imagining
cool. Whatever works.
2 to the sides of the wagon and 1 out in front. So
The one out in front.
all right.
So I am going to take an action. I'm going to use one of my feats. Is that right?
Sorry, I didn't hear the second word. To do one of your feats.
That's one of my feats, right?
It depends. The feats will do different things, but yeah.
Okay. Can I do an elemental blast?
Sure.
Okay.
So I believe as a kineticist, you have to take 1 action to open your gate.
Okay.
If the elemental blast requires your gate to be open. I'm not sure if it does or if it's just I'm
so far
pulling
it's
it up
not.
here.
Yeah.
Sorry. Elemental blast. Can I say bow?
Yeah, so it should have the impulse tag, I think it is, if it needs your gate open.
Yeah, it's got the impulse, so your gate has to be open.
So
the thing with Pathfinder is you have 3 actions per round. They could be anything.
Okay.
Some systems have like an attack, a reaction, whatever. Pathfinder, you can use all 3 actions to run. You could use all 3 to attack, etc. So with the kinesis, you do have to open your gate to your plane of choice for 1 action, essentially. But then it's open until you close it.
Okay.
So
I'm going to open my gate. I'm going to take it as literally as I can. So I just turn around and I'm going to knock on the air behind me, and then I'm going to open the door.
right.
And the door opens.
you open this door that wasn't there moments ago to a land where everything is metallic and crunchy and it's kind of warm and hot.
Blinding in the sunlight.
Yeah. So now you have this elemental hole to another area. So now you can feel the power of metal kind of radiate through you or into you, I guess.
Cool. And then that was 1 action, so I can take another action.
Yep.
I can take 2 more. And can I use an elemental blast then?
Yeah,
I guess
so-
just aim at that dude.
So yeah, you have the option with Elemental Blast to do use it as one action or as two actions. If you use it as two actions, you'll add your Constitution modifier to the damage. Essentially, you're
I'm gonna
like
use it as
focusing
two
more
actions.
on it.
Yeah, I'm gonna use this too.
Okay. I believe it's to hit. Yeah. Yeah. So you're gonna roll your spell attack
Okay. Where's?
against their AC.
Sorry, I'm trying to find my spell attack.
If you're on the path builder, it's on spells at the top, like at the top of that window.
Is this a spell?
Sorry. No, don't be sorry. This is why we do things. To learn.
For
Yeah, I
what
just
it's
got
worth,
it.
I'm flipping through my rule book trying to figure out what the hell I'm gonna
Yeah.
do. So
It's
you're
usually-
learning this together.
It's usually 10 plus your proficiency plus your caster level, I believe. Right, Chris?
So your attack roll, I think, for kineticists is like con plus proficiency, I want to say.
Okay.
So what is your con modifier?
+2.
Okay, so yeah, under spells you have something called impulse attack, and then kineticist DC. Do you see anything like that?
I don't. Oh, okay, I see it. I wasn't on the spells.
So
But
whatever that
it doesn't
plus
even
is.
put any of my stuff under spells. It puts it under feats and features.
It tells you your attack roll under spells and your everything else under feats.
Yeah, it doesn't even. It doesn't even show me my spell attack roll on my feet.
You'll have
Let me.
you should have a thing that says DC probably 18 maybe,
DC 16.
and then
Class DC.
next to that in parentheses. Does it say anything? No. Okay.
If it's 16,
yeah.
it's a plus. You're rolling a
It
plus
should be a
6.
+6. Yeah,
Okay, cool. Plus 6. So
that's
I'm going to
interesting.
roll that. Okay, that was 11. So
So you rolled the 11? Or
I
you
rolled a
mathed?
5.
Okay, so you mathed it to 11.
No, actually, that was not a 5. That was a 13. I can't read. So 13 plus 6, that's 19.
Okay, 19. 19 is enough to hit this guy with your metal shards of pain, I guess.
Metal shards of pain.
Yeah.
That's a good name for them.
Roll your damage. I believe it's 1d8 plus the
1d8.
con modifier.
1d8 plus 2. 9 points of damage.
Goof. That's pretty good. These blades kind of fly and slice through the air, almost like tiny daggers. And they cut up this bandit leader real good. Like his shirt's all a little torn now. If we were in no, I guess Hallmark movies don't do that, but it's the scene
What
where
movies are you watching?
I don't know. I don't have cable. He's cut a little bit. In Game of Thrones, he's now got the attractive bandit who's battle worn going on with him.
I've made him hotter. Excellent.
Yeah. Well, now he's I have no idea what was happening. Okay, he is still up though. He's not down. And that was 3 actions. Yes. Gate.
Yes.
Thing. Yes. Okay. Brings us to Mouse. You just saw this arrow kind of fly over your head. You saw Albert get shot and tumble. And you saw some metal shards, metal slices attack this leader.
So, moving up to, I guess, the one who was talking, who offered this kind of ultimatum of taking the kid, right? Goes, you come here, you come and you kill one of us, and you want to make deals? And I'm going to attempt an intimidation check.
All right.
Be a 19 against their will DC.
Against his will DC, and he's not a willful man. He is intimidated by you. Demoralized, one would even say.
And with that, he gains frightened 1. I'm going to take a step forward, and I'm going to swing the spike chain, gaining some momentum, and then trying to wrap it pretty much like right around his waist, and trying to create a little purchase on his stomach area.
Okay, so you're trying to whip grab him with the chain, correct, essentially. Okay, great.
This will be 19 to hit.
Absolutely hits.
All right. Now, if I understand my math, that's 5 on the die, 9, and what's my rage damage too? I do 11 points of piercing damage or slashing damage as this spike chain makes contact.
Oof. It does one of those things like the first wrap is real slow, but that second one, because the chain got so much shorter, is real fast, and the end of the chain just right into the gut. So he takes that damage. He's not looking great.
Cool.
Just
with my third action, I'm going to yank, and I'm going to attempt a trip attack.
All right.
This is at a multiple attack penalty. It's going to be 17 against reflex DC.
But he is demoralized.
So he'll take a -1 to that.
So he'll take a -1. I don't think that's going to do it, but we'll see. Reflex, 18.
Nudge fate. Mouse's check is raised by 1 to make that meet the DC. I believe. So 18 and 18. Then.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah. So essentially,
I can't believe that actually was useful on the first round. Hell yeah.
Yeah. I think in my head, it's easier to subtract it from the guy than to add it to Mouse, but same.
Yeah, that's
same
fine.
difference.
Technically, I'm supposed to add it to his. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So you successfully trip this fella with just a regular success. So the chain like tangles him up, and he kind of crumbles to the ground, all twisted up in it.
Yeah,
so
I think for
essentially immobile.
I think looking at like the situation, I probably like look towards this guy, have a questioning look towards my companion here, and then realize we're still in a fight as I end my turn.
That brings us to Tatum, right?
Yeah, that's correct. So how far are they from you at this point?
They're 30 feet. They will.
Okay.
If they were to come to you, they would get to you in one of their 3 actions.
Mm-hmm. Cool. So I think what I would do is Tatum's gonna release their arms, and they're gonna pull out their Adel, and it's already got a dart loaded into it, and they're just gonna look at the person that Mikaila wounded, and they're gonna just launch a dart right into their chest.
You guys are zerging down my leader.
So I'm just gonna go ahead and I think it's a. Let's see. Yeah.
So just to be clear, this is the guy that had the metal flung at him, and then got tripped with a. That's
going to be a 23 total to hit him.
And now he's getting a dart in the head.
23 total to hit him, and then
absolutely hits him.
The damage is going to be. I love a max damage. That's 7 damage from that just launched dart.
I mean, Yeah, you, for lack of a better term, you end his existence on this mortal plane. This lifeless body just kind of crumples in your chain, Mouse. Now with a dart sticking out like the base of its neck. And you've vanquished my leader, who I was fully intending to actually get away, but I haven't had a chance yet. You have 2 more actions and 4 more bad guys.
I'm not going to attempt an intimidation. I'm not going to attempt an intimidation, but Tatum absolutely does like look at the other people and like raise an eyebrow, like, you sure you want to do this? But he's not really going to give them an opportunity because they're going to absolutely launch another dart. They're going to, well, would moving forward be an action? Does that count as, or is that like
movement's one action.
Okay.
Or
then I will say
use it for 3 if you want.
I'll close the distance just a little bit as one of my actions, and then my last action, I'll like move 10 feet closer, just with another one, and I'm just gonna throw another dart, and I just whichever guy you want to hit. Now,
okay, let's just call this guy number 1. Yeah, it's a second attack, so you're gonna take unless it's an agile weapon, which I think it might be, you're gonna take a -5. If it's agile, it's gonna be a -4.
Well, the dart is agile. Does that count?
-4.
The thing that I'm throwing.
Yeah, because you're using the addle to launch. Yeah.
So then
the dart's agile.
Then it's okay. So then +8. Then okay, cool. I love that. That's a 17 to hit.
17 does hit these other guys, these common cookie cutter bandits. Also, that's going to be 6.
That's 6 damage for one of the other ones. So another dart just like right past Mouse and just sticks in some guy's like arm or something. I don't know.
So in a matter of 6 seconds. In a matter of 6 seconds, the bandit leader has had metal thrown at him. He's been entangled in a spiky chain. He got a dart in the neck, and his compadre took one straight in the chest and now is just out. It might as well have been a ballista for all that guy was concerned. He's just down. And it's still not my turn.
Just for flavor, Tatum's going to do a little salute. Hasn't said a single thing and just launched 2 over. And that's my turn.
He's a sassy monk. All right. Well, that brings us to Adrienne's turn.
Yes.
Okay, so
so I am going to again use my hex cantrip, Nudge Fate. I think this time I will, knowing that seems like the kobold and the monk can handle themselves perfectly well. I'm a little bit worried about whether this kineticist might be disassociating or something like that. So I'll nudge Fate, targeting her a little bit there, and then focusing on one of these mooks here. She will, with a spin of her spindle, they feel almost as if they see what happened to their leader with that chain twisting around him and taking him down and ending him. And they almost feel the ghost of that happening to them, as well as I am casting Daze. You push into the target's mind and daze it with a mental jolt. I am going to need a will save.
A will save. Thank you.
Yes.
That was what I was going to. Let's see. I have rolled a complete total of 10.
Great. So my spell DC is 18.
So he does not save. That is a failure on my part.
Okay, awesome. So that is a D6 mental damage. 4.
All right.
And that will be my turn. And then Mikaila, if you fail something by just 1 in the next minute, that bumps you up to becoming a success. Or if it's a crit fail, it bumps it up to a normal fail.
Excellent.
And just so you know, a minute is 10 rounds. 10 cycles through. Yeah, you got some time. But now it's the best turn. My turn. Let's see. I've got 3 bandits up. One of them, with the guy just next to him, saw 2 of his buddies just straight up eviscerated in front of him. The other one that was on your side, Tatum, decides that he wants no part of this bandit life. He throws his bow down on the ground and uses all 3 of his actions to run into the forest, maybe become a painter or a gardener. I don't know. But he has left the fight.
Is his face obscured?
His face is. You can give me a society check, or if you have any other lores that would be applicable.
It's a 7 on society.
Yeah,
7 total.
It looks like they're wearing kind of ragtag armor that they kind of picked up here and there. A couple different.
Tatum absolutely would have tracked that fool down. just painting on the street, finger tap like, yo, I heard you were a bandit.
Honestly, I'm petty. Can I make that society check?
Yeah, I mean, you can try and identify them with society. That's
Great.
fine.
That's a dirty 20.
Yeah, from what you can tell, you can see that there are insignia from about 6 different cities / nations. I will list those for you when I invent those cities.
Okay.
I haven't gotten that far yet.
You're so valid.
Silent H has sent supplies, adding to your resource pool, which is good. And you will find out how good when you need it. But all of this is distracting me from the other 2 bandits on the south side, the one that Rosalie just hit, and the untouched one from approaching the child man, Laris. He's 19, 20 years old, whatever. It's not a child. One action for both of them to get up next to him. The first guy tries to grab him and misses horribly. The second guy tries to knock him over the head with his club, and Laris takes some damage and kind of falls. You see, like, you've all been in fights. You're in a fight right now. You can see the, like, consciousness kind of roll out of his eyes as he's on the edge of passing out. But that is what they're doing. He is still conscious, but barely. Which brings us back to Mikaila.
Cool. So yeah. So we've got the one guy that ran away. Another guy that is like barely conscious, and then there was one more guy, correct?
Yeah. So bandits wise, you got the guy that ran away. You've got the guy that is injured, and you've got the untouched guy. Both of those guys are trying to capture the boy, essentially.
Cool. I'm gonna like look at the untouched guy and let's see. I'm gonna do an elemental blast against him. I'm gonna take 2 actions for that.
Okay, and you already have your gate open, so you don't need to.
I have my gate open. Like, what's up? I'm here. Everyone's here. Let's do my blast again. Okay, that's going. Okay, you know what? That's not going to do shit. That was a 2. Just missed. Yeah.
Just gotta make sure there's no critical fail. Okay. Yep. So that one missed. So you can take another one action attempt at it at a -5.
Why not? We're here.
Doing the
Like,
old
my gate's
crit
open.
fish.
I'm ready. Okay, let's do this. Come on. 14. That's a 15.
A 15 is not quite enough, but
I do have the
of-
1.
You have the 1 from Rosalie, so you can make it enough.
I'm gonna do that. I
this-
feel fate's arms around me.
I fully
I'm
did
like,
not
this is
expect
it.
this to be so useful so fast.
Is this
The name of
Such
the
a
game.
specific thing.
is this the injured one or the uninjured one?
This is the uninjured one.
Okay.
He needs to learn. So that is a 1d8.
Okay.
That's 3.
3.
So-
All right. That is now they are
And
both,
yeah, another
both
whip.
pretty injured.
Yeah.
Now they're both pretty injured. And that I believe is 3, which
Yes.
makes it Mouse's turn.
Mouse's turn. I'm going to yell at the two that have, at least in my head canon, like ran past me to get to this kid, right? And goes, "You ignore me!" And I'm going to run right up behind one of them, and I'm going to make this attack.
Do it.
I can't math. 19 plus 8 is 27.
That is what's known in Pathfinder as a critical hit. In Pathfinder, criticals are 10 above whatever the dice check is. And it works in inverse as well. So 10 below is a critical failure. That's mostly for like skill checks and stuff.
Hey, there's no kill like overkill, right?
Yeah.
24 damage.
Yeah. This was with the spike chain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Horrifying. Love
Straight
it.
up
This man's
missed.
in half.
With that, yeah. Like he was there and then he's not. Like any part of him. Even the donkey looks
unravel
over
it.
and is all like, damn. And you have actions. I think you have one action left.
I feel pretty satisfied. I want to turn to the last one and go, yield, and end my turn.
All right. Tatum.
You would argue that I'm within 25 feet of them now, yeah?
Oh, yeah.
Any of the... Okay, cool. So one of my actions is going to be to close the distance. And then do I need to use an action to go into my reflective ripple stance? Is that a thing? I don't know, probably.
I believe to change stances is an action.
Okay, cool.
Chris
Then
is
I will
nodding
do that.
confidently.
So Tatum's taking a very kind of like unique stance, very wide base, and their hands are kind of like this, but they wave like it's almost like they're trying to like hypnotize someone. And then they just haul off and punch this person like right into the throat. Like just like this, and then just bah, like just.
You're taunting him.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
So
you're taunting.
I'm gonna go ahead.
Like
I'm
it.
gonna use. I'm just gonna use one of my special unarmed attacks here because that's a +8 to hit. That is gonna be a 17 total,
That does hit.
and then
I'd
I'm
be
gonna go
surprised
ahead.
if this man lives.
That's gonna take 5 damage for the punch to the throat right there.
Yeah, that is more than the required damage. You punch this man in the throat, and he does that like you can see starts to go blue as his larynx shattered, and he just like crumples down to the ground, leaving none bandits
And
left.
they're still in their stance for what it's worth.
All right, that's okay.
We just
then.
traumatized this poor kid.
Yeah.
It's fine.
you
My plan was actually to
definitely-
go and cast Soothe on this child. May I do that?
Yeah.
Instant therapy.
Yeah, for sure you can do that.
I cast therapy session. It's a 1 hour ritual cast.
Literally, I grace the target's mind, boosting its mental defenses and healing its wounds for regains hit points and stuff. Literally, just like, please don't be traumatized. No, I wouldn't say that.
You don't remember anything.
For the
Please
record,
someone
that's 8
clip
hit
that so I
points.
can use it later.
Okay, I am going to say this is a time for we'll take a break. I know we kind of got a break in the beginning half. I was messing with tech, but what can you do, really? So I'm going to push the button to go to a break. I don't know what we're going to see. So bear with
Probably
me.
that screen.
I think it's like six to 8 minutes, something in there. So stand by as I push this button. We'll be back with more CROSSHAVEN. You, having just dispatched these bandits and not fully healed, but healed. Succold's tail, so thank you. Healed Laris, the man-child of varying age, who was really 17, I believe, I said in my opening monologue. And you are left here on this road.
I thought he was like 10.
No, he's not that young. At
He
one
was
point,
like, messed
I will
up
say
this
at one
child.
point he was that young when I was forming it, but then I was like, wait, why would they give 10-year-old
He's
the
still
wit to
half
found
my
a city?
age.
Yeah, he's still a baby. He's still a baby child.
Baby child.
So what are you guys doing? You're now left with this.
Tatum has absolutely gone and retrieved the darts from the two, so that they just kind of like wipe them on the ground to get rid of any blood, and then they just kind of put them back in a pack, and now they're leaned up against the wagon, just kind of chilling.
Okay. Are you as a group doing anything with Albert's body?
I like to go over. Go for it.
No, I
Me-
was
me-
gonna say I would definitely go. I go and I cast that soothe spell on Lyris, and I leave a Trophos there with him. This raven-sized moth, this like green off-white cream linen color. But you see, when she casts the spell, the wings unfold, and there's these eye markings on the wings. And I think you would think that it would be spooking, but it is that the soothe spell. It helps Lyris focus on something that is not the gore surrounding him as he makes eye contact with these markings on the wings. And I will leave a Trophus there with him and go to check and see if there's anything that can be done for Albert was the name? Was that correct?
Albert, yeah.
Albert, yes. And see if there's not anything that can be done, at least try to find something respectful. Probably not close enough to bring the corpse with us, unfortunately.
You can do a medicine check if you want.
Okay, I can do that. That's something I can roll. Okay. That's a 24. I got a 19 plus 5.
Nice.
What's his diagnosis?
You know that there's nothing you can do or could have done. You can see that this injury is like, it's just fatal. And it was quick, so he didn't suffer a lot. But
Mm-hmm. I'll take a piece of cloth and at least put it over his face for the time being while this small wagon regathers itself and we figure out where to go from here.
Okay.
I'm gonna point to my open door behind me, and I'm gonna be like, send them off. Metal plane.
Toss the body in the plane of metal.
It's warm. It's like a burial ground. Might even cremate him.
I don't
might be respectful. In my house, that's respectful. A eulogy, a monologue, yes.
A marker, maybe. A marker.
Oh, a marker. Okay, yeah. I was gonna go the whole, like, you know, we knew him for 5 minutes. He gave us a child, and then died. And quite frankly, that is longer than most of my relationships. So I'm actually a little sad. We could send him off to the metal plane. He will die happily there. You know, it's a Pharaoh's family tradition. Once you're dead, you're with the lead.
I do have to chime in here because this is going to be a thing if I don't stop it.
Sparrow's
out. That's a quote. That'll be our first shirt. Only energy can pass through the gate. Physical objects cannot right now. And I know because I know that would get abused if I allowed that to happen.
It's like the bag of holding. Just throw.
Yeah. Just throw things in there and get them when you want.
It's more of a bag of devouring, I think. Once it's in the plane, it's in the plane.
When I hear dissent to this idea, I'm just gonna turn to the gate behind me and be like, okay, and then I'm gonna be like, love you. And then I'm gonna close the door.
Any like religious symbols or signet rings or anything like that might give an indication what kind of practice might be the best burial practice?
Iris, do you know who he honored?
No, actually. You don't see any kind of insignia other than a signet ring of the house, of Laris's house. No, I to be honest, I didn't know him very well. He was, I don't want to use the term thrust upon me by my father, but he was chosen to kind of oversee because of his more managerial style of personage. I didn't really interact with him a lot. I mean, it's sad, and I don't want him forgotten, but I unfortunately don't know enough about him as a person. And I sound like a really bad person now. And he just kind of like disappears into himself about how he's very sad about being selfish because he didn't know this guy.
So not to interrupt your moment of introspection, what do you want us to do about Albert here?
I mean, we should probably bury him. Yeah? We could say
We can do that.
some words to the Prime.
A eulogy.
And, you know, he'll find his way, hopefully. And for future generations coming along this road, you'll go by Alba's Pass, they'll call it. Because I'll write it in this charter thing I have.
There we go.
Do you know he has family at all?
I don't think he did have family. I think that's why he came with me. Or I guess I with him. Or, well, CrossHaven.
Good. There's no one to let know. That's good. That makes it easier on us.
Do you want to help? You probably aren't. It would be too much to ask you to help dig, but maybe we could make some sort of marker, right?
No, we have shovels. I'll get one here off the wagon. He grabs a shovel from the wagon, walks, a little ways into the foliage and starts digging a grave. Now, like, anyone who's used a shovel can clearly tell that this man has never used a shovel, really.
And yard work.
He's like skimming the top of the dirt, and yeah, like the idea of stepping onto thrust deeper is just lost to him. But
Mikaila straight up thinks that he's doing a great job. Like, she's also never used a shovel, so she's like, this guy is really good at shoveling.
He's the best shoveler.
She's just staring approvingly from the sideline.
This guy rules.
Masterful technique. I've said thrust too many times, Duchess. All right, did I? Maybe. So working together, you can get him covered and set a little word and stack some stones nicely.
I will prepare a eulogy.
Do it.
Today, we gather to honor a life that has left us, but whose spirit remains woven to the very fabric of our stories and memories. In a world that could be harsh and unforgiving, they never waver from their path for the few minutes I've known this person. Let us carry their legacy with us, not as a burden, but as a beacon to guide our own journeys. We honor them not with sorrow, but with gratitude. For their sacrifice that they made. May we find comfort in knowing that their spirit soars as high and free as the wind.
With the lead.
Amen.
With the lead.
That was beautiful. Did you prepare that ahead of time, Chris?
No.
Did you? You just have, that's your pocket eulogy? That's your go-to?
I've GM'd enough, I guess.
I thought you were going to say you've been to enough
sense.
funerals. I was going to be like, damn, that sucks.
That's dark.
Been to enough player funerals.
Oh, fair.
Not even PC funerals? Damn. Okay. I think Adrienne is... Adrienne did let Mouse step forward, but I will say she was a little bit like, you don't need, okay, go ahead. If you really want to, Mouse, you would know this is out of like, that she knows you're kind of uncomfortable with more religious stuff, and so she did not expect this.
We should always honor our dead. His life is so worth living.
Absolutely, and life goes on much like the day. Should we keep going before it gets dark, or would you rather rest here, Laris?
No, we should continue on. We can't be more than half a day's out. Maybe a day. But waiting here is not going to bring him back, so let's... Got cities to build, yeah? And he climbs up on the wagon and takes the reins of the donkey and is just like holding them very gingerly, like a fancy man would hold reins, like the crown prince of England in the 800s, having to drive his own wagon. So
Hey, this is a spot Albert just died, right? So there's probably like blood-stained wood that he has to sit on to start going.
Yeah, I mean, he fell a little bit, but the reins definitely have blood kind of worked into the leather a little bit. if he was wearing white, he would get up and like have a butt blood kind of pattern on him, but I don't know what he's wearing. He's wearing browns. He's wearing travel browns. That's a thing. I'm gonna just we're gonna
say, how long have we been on the road? He's still looking. The clothes are still white. Damn. Okay.
We left 5 minutes ago, and somebody already died.
He changes every 30 minutes.
He actually does know one cantrip, and he just uses it to clean his clothes.
It's just prestidigitation. Yeah. The path ahead begins to shift. The trees close in around you, their branches intertwining, forming a twisted maze. The air grows thick and heavy, and the ground beneath your feet seems to shift with every step, muffling your footsteps. I lost my... There it is. Strange whispers drift on the wind. Strange whispers drift on the wind, though you see no source. The forest itself feels alive, as though it's watching you, testing you. The forest seems to have shifted around you with no clear path forward or back. Trees loom overhead with their branches interlocking like a cage. Thick underbrush seems to block the way at every turn. This isn't what I expected. I thought it would be simple. Build the settlement, make it thrive, but This place feels very much alive. We've barely started, and I don't even think we're going to make it to CROSSHAVEN. Lair says as he kind of pulls up rein. And as
you shouldn't
he
be
does,
surprised. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, please.
No. As he does, I need everyone to make a wisdom save.
Ooh.
Oh, that was pretty good.
So that's just straight up our wisdom stat?
Will save. Sorry.
Okay, okay.
That's a 24.
24.
Is this a motion effect?
This is... No, not emotion.
Nat 20 for 27.
All right. 24, 27. 14. Not good. Chris.
25.
Everybody.
25.
All right.
25.
That's good. All right. I have that information.
Good.
So you are now... Let's see here. Yeah. You're essentially... I had to condense this part because we're running behind, so I probably cut out a chunk of exposition. But you are in what's essentially a skill check challenge. You are in this underbrush of trees and roots and anything that, and it almost seems like you're in a maze. You turn left and the path that you thought was there kind of closes in around it. So what we're gonna do is go around. We'll start on my left, and we'll go through. And you need to get 4 successes in various skill checks to essentially find your way out before you get 4 failures. Now the trick is you can use almost any skill you want as long as you can justify what you're doing with it. And once you use that skill, no one else can use that skill. So if you tried a nature check and failed, no one else could try to get out with a nature check. So we'll start there. And FaZe, because you're on my left, you're going to be first. You have many options.
So my highest one is going to ruin it for everybody else, but it's nature. So sorry, guys. So I am going to do a nature check, kind of just like how survivalists could figure out their ways by just looking at trees and stuff. I'm just gonna look at trees. Where's the moss growing? I've seen that in enough TV shows.
All
I don't know why she knows so much about nature, to be honest.
And then you realize that those TV shows are full of shit. But yeah, go ahead and give me a nature check.
Come on, baby. Oh, that's a 15.
Okay, you're looking around, and you see not so much. Moss doesn't really point the way, but you do find an odd patch of flowers with unnaturally bright kind of foliage, and you know them to be called the cunning blooms. Cunning. The blooms themselves are poisonous, but you do know that they tend to grow only where they have room to spread out when they do bloom. So you think that it gets a little less dense this direction. So we'll call that one success as you head down the Cunning Bloom pathway. Man, this tech mess up really just threw me off altogether. That's funny. All right. Next would be Adrienne.
All right. I would pull a bobbin of thread off my belt, let about 12 inches of it out and tie it so that it won't unspin anymore, and use it as a pendulum to try and almost scry the correct path here. If you've ever seen, I can't think of the term for the water-seeking thing, but I would like to use occultism for this. I can't think of it, yes. Dowsing, thank you. Yeah. Yes, like that, but sometimes that can be done with a pendulum as well. So I would love to be able to use occultism if possible. This little bit of folk magic.
Sure, yeah.
That I keep bouncing out of my dice tray. I apparently need a bigger dice tray. 14
I have a dice that's specifically a Super Bowl.
8, so 22.
Dang.
No, that's not how math works. 14 plus 8. Yeah, that's 22. Okay.
Yeah, it's 22.
Okay.
I question.
I do love TTRPG math because you never think you're right, ever. So you're out there dowsing with the pendulum, and you're pretty confident that you've kind of honed in on one of the natural ley lines that run underneath the world, and it's not an exact science, but you think, okay, there's definitely something odd about this forest and unnatural. There's definitely like a faint magical presence, subtle but unmistakable.
If I use a detect magic cantrip, would that reveal any more to me?
Not really, because you're not getting... It's not so much a spell as it is just a sense of there's old magic
vibes
here.
Are off.
Yeah. But the magic seems to disorient you. It's not hostile, it's just kind of what it is. But using the dowsing pendulum and the ley lines, it allows you to kind of hone in and focus a little more and not completely rebuke, but stave off some of the more confusing things.
I do want to note, I think I'm going to have Atrophos stay by this young man's side as we travel so that she is there if anything were to happen.
Okay. Does she have... I forget what the skill is. Give me a second, I can see. The independent ability.
She does not, but if we were to get into combat or something and I started casting hexes, it would benefit him if she is within a certain range of him. So
okay. That was more just because I was curious about it.
Yeah.
Tatum. how would you like to contribute to getting out of this maze?
Go on a limb and say that if they can leap up to maybe like a vantage point of some kind, that they would be able to kind of see, get a better idea of like which paths to take. I'd love to try and use acrobatics for this.
Okay. I think we can totally do that.
Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and roll. That is a nat 20 for a total of 28.
Okay, so with the natural, even though the critical system in Pathfinder is plus 10, minus 10, that what the natural 20 does is raise it a step. So even if it's not a critical success, if it's just a regular success, the natural 20 would make it a critical success. If just general thing. So you reach a section where the path is kind of broken, and you manage to, there's an old gnarled tree with a lot of like twists, and those trees that grow where the wind is really heavy. Sometimes they have large curve S trunks. You find a couple of those, and you kind of double jump bloop, 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 up to kind of the peak, and it's a very Bilbo Baggins sticking his hat of the forest situation in the Rankin Bass Hobbit. But you do manage to get atop and can take in, and you can see that immediately around you, the canopy is thicker and denser and greener, but just kind of over that way, it seems to thin out a little bit. And you're careful to you mark it there, and then you find a mark on the ground to align yourself so that when you come down, you can point out that way.
Yeah,
so I'll say
they
that
don't
was
say anything.
Okay.
They just point, just like they haven't spoken to the party yet.
And never will.
That Tatum person, quiet as shit.
Doesn't talk, but he
We'll get it
darts
out of them.
dudes. That brings us to Mouse. What are you gonna try, Mouse?
Yeah, you put the two martial-ish people right next to each other, so that's always exciting. I always imagine that when I am lost, one of the things I would do is look for other creatures that do not appear lost. So I'm going to try to perceive maybe sounds or see if I can visually see like a squirrel or something, and see if they have a better idea of what is going on and how to navigate this mess.
Okay.
I did also nat 20 this for 26.
All right. I like that you're using all the nat 20s now and not when you're dusting my dudes. Okay. You glance around. You take in kind of the area. You don't so much hear things as see them. You notice faint markings on some of the trees, almost like deliberate carvings that seem to kind of point in a direction. You can't be certain if it's like animal rutting against trees, like deer trying to shed their antlers or something. But it just seems to pull you in that direction.
I go that direction.
All right, you go that direction. I need another wisdom save from everybody, please.
This is plus your will.
Yeah, sorry, will save.
Okay.
I don't know why I keep going.
Wow.
Wisdom save.
Gosh, what do you think this is? D&D? God.
That's 11.
I say that like I wasn't playing D&D last night. 22.
23.
11.
12.
All right. The 11s and the 12s. You guys, as a group, you start to progress through, but Mouse and Mikaila, as you're struggling through this growth, this maze, you catch a glimpse of something in the corner of your eye, in the distance. A figure just standing there, cloaked and hidden partially in shadow. It doesn't move. It doesn't speak, but you feel like it is watching you. And then suddenly, as suddenly as it appears, it's gone. Almost to the point where you question, did you see a thing? But as the maze itself fades behind you, the road stretches on. Hours pass as you continue your journey. The mist, the low-hanging mist, is kind of ever-present. The trees watching in silence. Laris, who was once full of nervous energy, has grown quiet, his gaze distant as he processes the events of the day. The wagon creaks along the uneven road, leaving each of you with your thoughts. As the road winds down toward a wide stream, you see it. The remains of a once sturdy stone bridge, now shattered and broken. The pieces of the bridge lie scattered in the water, jagged cracks running across the stone. A faint shimmer clings to the air around the damage to the bridge, like the remnants of some ancient magic. The current of the stream is swift, and without the bridge, it will be difficult to get the wagon across. What do? You can see, perhaps, those of you with very good eyes, on the far side of the bridge, the widening of this path, this road. So you may be getting close. This river seems to be in your way.
So just to recap, we have a cart with a horse, maybe?
Donkey.
Very small cart.
Yeah, it's not. It's like more like those, like, it's just got two big wheels, and it just like the wooden pokes that come out the side.
Got it. And how fast is this river running?
Pretty quick. There are bits of white choppy water. It's not a particularly wide river. It's only about 30 feet wide at its widest, and about 15 at its narrowest. But it does seem to be pretty quick. The stones that you can see seem to have been almost polished and smoothed by the flowing of the water. The only other material around, I keep using the filler words, I'm sorry. The only other material around are the kind of hunks of this masoned bridge that has fallen.
How did people get past? Were there already settlers at CROSSHAVEN, and we were following some already?
What you know about CROSSHAVEN is it is a way station, for lack of a better term. It resides almost precisely between three separate nations, and trade does pass through, but CROSSHAVEN itself is little more than an inn, a stable, and a small garden. Like, it doesn't have settlers. It doesn't have a defense. It's like an old lady moved out there to run an inn and make some money from traders, and she doesn't care if the nature overtakes her, kind of thing. So there's not
from this
settlers, but
the stones from this bridge look like they've been not a bridge for longer than you'd think, with this being a waypoint. Does anybody have any sort of Oh gosh.
Carpentry skills. Roll for carpentry.
It'd be crafting.
I am quite good at
crafting.
crafting, but not with stone.
I mean, you can make a crafting check. I'd allow it.
I mean, I can do that. I guess I start looking to see if there's. I don't know. How would Adrienne approach this, though? This is masonry is not her skill set. Construction is not her skill set. But I think first, probably just analyzing which of the stones and such can be moved and might be able to make some sort of a path. Although, how we get the cart across, even if we get stepping stones for people to walk across, I don't know.
I wonder if we can just make a temporary dam with the stonework. Not necessarily look to make a bridge, but just block enough of the water where we can just roll the cart across.
That's incredibly smart. I'm rolling a
That
check.
would be smarter. I was like, is there any metal anywhere? Pretty good at that.
Well,
but then
give me a crafting check on the bridge and the rocks themselves.
I
We'll
got
see
a
what we
10
can
plus
learn.
8 for an 18.
Okay, yeah. The
7, so I'm not helpful.
The bridge was expertly crafted, but the damage doesn't appear to be from typical tools or explosives. It looks deliberate, like something or someone targeted the bridge specifically to prevent travel across this stream.
sabotage.
Can I make a perception check and see if I feel like there's anybody like is this a trap set where we get held up long enough for somebody to attack?
Sure, yeah. Give me a perception to kind of be on alert.
Trust this. 11.
Yeah. You feel better since you left that dense vegetation, but you don't feel like there's anything particularly watching you right now.
Okay, back to the rocks.
And I think I'll just start picking up rocks and going to one of the places where the water doesn't seem as crazy, maybe only like 15 feet across. I just want to, I'm not looking for a permanent dam, but just something to block the water enough for us to get the cart across. I think that's better than us wandering mindlessly, trying to cross in such a spooky place.
Yes, I'm
Okay.
helping find the ones that fit together with that crafting check, hopefully.
I was like, how are you picking up stones? And I remember you're like the strongest little guy in the world. I guess. Yeah, you start collecting stones and from the bridge and river stones where you can. It is tough going to start with. Give me survival or crafting check to physically do this, I guess.
Is this a circumstance where I could be adding some to this with aid for mouse?
Yeah. You can, if you want, you can aid.
Yeah.
Sure.
I have cooperative nature, so that's an additional +4 circumstance bonus on checks to aid. I need to remember how aid works. One moment. Let me check my card. Okay. Okay, so I also roll crafting then.
Yeah. You're gonna roll crafting and essentially try to beat a 20. If you beat a 20, he gets the bonus. If you don't, he doesn't. If you critically fail, so if you end up with a 10 or less, you actually take.
Well, this
Take
is
his
great.
ability.
That actually, because of that additional +4, I got a 22. It would have failed otherwise.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, you'll get a +2 or a +4 circumstance.
Okay, so I get a
I'm
plus
just
4
testing out my
circumstance.
hand.
Yeah.
Hey, Jared.
Hey, what?
I feel like I innately would have done very, very poorly on this. But it's almost like something is in my favor, and I'm going to re-roll this check. However, this does give you a benefit that you can use against me later.
Okay. What's the mechanic on that? What's the actual name? Do you know?
Prophecy's Pawn. It allows me to re-roll a check, and then you get to use a re-roll against me, or force me to re-roll whenever you would like.
For up to a day. Okay, great.
So, I feel like there's something guiding my steps, and I will roll an 18 from my nat 1. So 18 plus 4 is 22.
Okay, yeah. You start gathering stones and bits of pebbles, and even some fallen branches and stuff, parts of the collapsed bridge, to try and rig this temporary dam. It's a rough job. It's real rough. The water never fully stops, but it does kind of slow to where you're not washing away were you to step in the stream. Like it's no longer going to pull you from your feet.
Like a traffic conductor.
You do feel like it won't hold forever.
Yeah, like a traffic conductor. Just trying to get people across.
All right. I need someone, because Laris can't do it. I need someone to do a nature or a survival check to drive the wagon. He's not good enough with the horses.
Nature. And I think Mikaila should be entrusted to drive. She has proven herself in this 2-hour-long adventure.
So give me that nature check.
Hopefully she's a better driver than me. Yes, that is a 23.
Okay, yeah. The water. I don't know why I just turned into a DJ. The water is shallow in places now because of the dam, so you can kind of push through. You start guiding the wagon carefully through the stream, making sure it doesn't get stuck in the mud or swept away by the current. And with a final push, the wagon itself creaks up onto the opposite bank. And I assume everyone else is with you. Like, you're crossing kind of as a group, because then it's not so bad when the dam gives way and the river returns to its natural course. You've managed to successfully cross the bridge, which is nice.
I'm going to turn to the kid and I'm going to say, this is how you drive. You'll get there one day, kid. Don't worry. I'm going to hop off and head off in the back. I'm not driving the rest of the way.
You don't want to.
She wants people to know that she's good at it, but she doesn't want to do it.
Nobody wants to be the one who drives on a 10-hour road trip.
Exactly. She's busy playing with her metal fidget spinner. She's like, I got shit to do.
That's funny. So as the light of day fades, you finally reach the outskirts of CrossHaven. The settlement is little more than a clearing with a small inn, stable, and garden nestled among the edge of the forest. The damaged bridge lingers in your mind, a reminder that the wilds are very far from tame, and that whatever or whoever destroyed it may still be watching. So that brings us to the conclusion of episode 1 of CrossHaven. We got to CrossHaven.
We did
eventually, after a lot of tech issues. We got there. Good job.
In and out of character challenges.
Yeah, we did, it's method roleplay. I like to think of it. But we did it. And that's pretty exciting. I'm excited to get into the actual building of the town and whatnot, which we'll go over. But I do want to give everyone an opportunity to inform the viewers, who they are, where they can find you, and whatnot. So let's go in the same order we went before, because on the spot, Chris.
Hi, my name is Chris. I run Skull's Tone Entertainment. We were a GMing business for a long time. Now we kind of put out public products. If you're interested in anything like that, you can find me at Scald's Tale in a variety of different places, and maybe I'll post like once a year about the things that I'm doing. So you can always look for riveting content on my my quiet social medias. But I am also a writer. If you're interested in kind of Chinese censored or Asian censored games, you can check out the Pathfinder's Tianjia character guide and world guide. I have them right here, and you can go check them out, and they're really cool stuff with great artwork and dragon boats and kitsunes and tanukis and all that sort of stuff. So highly recommend these books because I wrote some of it. But that's me.
All right. And then I think we went to FaZe?
Hell yeah. I'm FaZe. So I'm a cosplayer and TTRPG person. You can find me almost everywhere at FaZe Night. Twitter, it's different. It's at FaZe Night _. They still won't give me the original one, but one of these days I'll throw a party. But yeah, you can see me be awful online and make lots of costumes and go crazy. And you can see me in other things. My most notable thing is I am one of the cast members on the upcoming Death Roll. Hopefully we'll have some trailers up here soon. But if you like horror TTRPGs and at in-table adventures, then go and check that out. Our first episode premieres October 10th. But yes, this was very fun. Thank you.
And then we went to Sparrow.
Hello, hi, I am your favorite burb on the interweb. I played Tatum tonight. I helped co-found Feywild and Out, which is a BIPOC forward TTRPG channel. We have a Mass Effect game coming up that I'm real excited about. Otherwise, you can find me here on Thursdays and then at the Red Hair Inn on Tuesdays, where I'm doing a Tales of Exadia game. I play this very surly archer named Shiara, and I have a lot of fun. At A Black Sparrow, pretty much everywhere, ablacksparrow.com as well. So peep me there and have yourself a great evening.
And then Rosalie.
Hi, my name is Rosalie. Again, feel free to call me Rosie for short or any other shortened version thereof. I love nicknames. You can find me on all social media at Rosatyrs, like Rosie and the Little Goat Folk, and you smush them together. ROSATYRS Rosatyrs. I am a TTRPG actual play performer and creator, mostly on Tabletop Tailspinners Network, namely Magnificence, a D&D 5th edition dark fantasy podcast where I play Sage, who is a wizard and a bitch. I love her. So please go check out TTN. We just brought back All Our Faults, which is our Monster Heart 2 podcast, and that is a fan favorite. Bringing on new cast members, new adventures. Really excited to be here. I play monsters and other childish things every other Friday on TTN. We also have a Game Master Monday episode coming up in October. Maybe go subscribe to Game Master Monday. I don't know. Have fun. Do what you want.
And that brings you to me. I am Jared, at Jared Hoy across most socials. Here on Twitch at The Real Gobshite. Life has been crazy, but I am now back. It is no longer 110 degrees, so I'm willing to sit in rooms with multiple computers and return to streaming this week. So that's, this upcoming week. So that's exciting. We will be back here next week for sure with another episode of CrossHaven. So keep your eyes out for the Discord for that. Reminder, if you did sub, you can submit your picture to be an NPC. We'll put you, I'll Photoshop you in there, make you can be in the world of CrossHaven. You too can be included. But that's it for me. We will see you next time, same bad channel, hopefully less bad tech. We are going to... I'm going to push the button. It'll probably go to that screen again. We'll see.
Heck yeah.
But we're going to raid.
We love the screen. If we fall in love with the screen, it'll take it away from us.
Yeah.
True.
I'll worship the screen. So we'll see what happens, and we will see you next time. And Cast, I'll talk to you in a minute. Let's push the button.